This is Carl at National RV Detroit, and I'm going to walk you through this 2021 Flagstaff Mac model 228D. It has a cassette toilet and an air conditioner. So this is basically a supplemental video. I'm not going to show you how it sets up and how it comes down. You have a link to the, or you can go online to Forest River's site and see the exact video for it. It's showing that. I'm just going to go into more detail on how some of the stuff works and just show you around a bit, okay? We'll also show you how it goes up and down when you come to pick it up. So, okay. So you have a porch light here, of course. Awning light for your awning. Now, the awning is completely contained when it comes to the rafter and the legs, the poles. Everything is contained in this awning. So when you roll it out, at the very end there's a rafter that goes the width of the awning, and the poles fold right out of it. So we'll show you that, and you can also look at the manufacturer's videos, like I said. But everything is contained except that there comes with 2 stakes that are inside the trailer if you want to stake the legs down. So okay, all right. So starting here, you have a griddle. Now the griddle hooks up here. It has to be slid down a little bit. When they put it together, they did not account for that. Let me slide it down a little bit here. There we go. So this is the quick connect for it right here. So you just take this. This valve is in the off position now. You would clip it on here, quick connect it onto this one, and then open the valve up this way, and you're all set. And that just takes gas right out of the tank, the LP tank. And of course, that's just a utility table sitting next to it. You also have stabilizers that crank down right here. So you got one on each corner. That takes a 3/4 inch crank, which comes with the trailer, or you can use a socket on a drill, a 3/4 inch socket on a drill. Now you don't lift the trailer with the jacks, you're just taking the shake out of it. Also, if you don't put them down and 2 people walk to the back of this, or one heavy person walks to the back of it, it'll sort of pop, the front end will pop up unless you've got the rear stabilizers down, okay? Alright, so this right here, this is let me shut the light back off here so you can see it. This is the fresh water tank fill. This has a fresh water tank on it, and the reason you would use that fresh water tank, if you go to a campsite that does not have plumbing on the campsite, for example, like some of the older state parks, so there's a fill station when you first go through the gate, so you would fill it there and then use the onboard pump to pump water. Now if you have city water, the hookup's on the other side. I'll show you that when I get over there. But if you have city water, you don't have to worry about this filling the fresh water tank, of course. So it just gives you 2 options for water, and all the plumbing will work the same off of the fresh water tank as it would city water. All right, so this has got a cassette toilet. Now the cassette toilet, you really have to read the directions that come with it, or better yet, go on to their website or go on YouTube and look at their manufacturer's videos. But just to give you an idea, this is the cassette part. It slides out. This takes the place of in a sense, this is your black tank, right? So you would use it, you would put this in this position over here to dump it, so on and so forth. So keep that in mind, that it's your black tank. The thing about cassette toilets is they're really good for emergencies, late at night or little kids or things like that. But use the campground facilities, you know, when it's during the day and convenient and all that. That's how most people do it anyway. I'll show you the controls for that inside also when we get in there. Also, this down here is your shower drain. They give you a plastic fitting that'll screw on there, and you can hook a hose to it. It's got a barb on it, so you can hook a hose to it to drain it where you want, into a bucket or a sewer, or wherever you want to go with it, okay? And that, of course, next to it is your other stabilizer. Now, this thing here is a safety bar. They put it on here, so I'll show you. It's kind of hard to get off with one hand, but let's see if I can get it for you. Oh, that sucker's on there. Pull that off of there, Tim, will you, please? Okay. So all this is hang on to that. This is just basically, people will give you a lot of reasons of why you have this thing. There's 2 of them. They go kitty corner from each other. One here, one in the rear off door side. But what it's for is in case you are in the woods and if a tree falls and hits your roof, it just like increases the strength of the roof. I mean, it's held up by a cable. You can see the cable right down there, and that's really strong. But this just makes it stronger. So I suggest you use it. You take them off and you store it under the mattress when you're not using them. And there's only 2 of them, like I said. They're kitty corner from each other. Okay, so you have 2 deep cycle marine batteries here. In the box, you have a power winch, which is a great thing to have, and you got a single 20-pound LP tank, and there is room on there to add a second one if you wanted to. Okay. The braces that you're seeing, they come. You put those on first before you pull the beds out, and you take them off after you put the beds in. It just gives the bed platforms constant support when you're pulling them out. The old style, you would sort of pop in afterwards, after you pull the bed out. This just keeps it support all the time, and so your bed rail will not bend over time like they used to years ago. So it's a really good thing to have. All right, so this is your city water hookup here. I told you that the best way to get it, and the most common way to get water into the trailer is just the city water. Like I said, if you don't have it, you can fill the onboard tank and use that feature. Also, this is it has a 3/4. It basically takes a garden hose fitting, and that's a sink drain. So you would have to route that somewhere too if you want to. That's an outside shower. Now before you put the roof up, you pull this cord out and you plug it in up there. That powers the air conditioner. So try to remember to do it before you take it up, so you don't have to stand on something to plug it in. But that's how you get power to the air conditioner. Now this is the refrigerator controls here. These are the refrigerator controls. Let me get down here on one knee if I can. Okay. So basically there's 3 potential power sources. Like it says on this sticker here, only use one source at a time, never double up on them. Right now it's on 110 AC. You can see it says 120 there. 120, 110 AC. So right now it's operating on that. If you want, you can run it on 12 volt. You could do that going down the road, for example, because your car alternator will charge the battery and the battery will run this, right? And then the other way to do it is you open the spy hole here, so you can see in there, and then you put this is for LP, you put the knob to high, which is also light, and you depress it, and then whoops, let me get a better grip on it, and then you spark it like that, and it will light, and after it lights, you hold it for a minute, and then you would just go to, probably keep it on high. Most people run it on high all the time. But that's how you would run it on gas if you wanted to run it on LP gas. The most common way is just regular 110. It's a gas absorption, so it takes longer to reach your operating temperature, but once you get there, it operates like a regular refrigerator, but you got to start it a good day in advance to get it really nice and cold. All right, okay. This is your cord. It's 30 amp and 30 feet long, and we give you an adapter so you can plug it in at home. All right, so this is the water heater. It works on gas, LP gas. It is in bypass mode right now, meaning it's winterized, right? So you can see the drain plug is out, and there was the hole that the water comes out of. So it's drained, and then there are valves on it that are under the front dinette seat, where the back of the water heater is. Right now it's in bypass mode, so it does. Let me explain this here. Let me back up a bit. You may know this, you may not. So the reason you bypass the water heater is because you can't get antifreeze into the water heater when you're pumping it into the system, because it leaves a really foul taste that doesn't go away. It's very difficult to get rid of anyway. So because of that, they give you a bypass. You can set the valve so you can pump antifreeze into the system, but it does not go in the water heater tank. And then you just pull the plug and drain the water out manually for the winter. So before you change the valves over, because there is antifreeze in the system, you would hook up your city water, hook up your hose to it, turn on all the faucets, the outside shower, the sink, the toilet, the shower, until nothing but clear water comes out, because it'll start off pink, will be coming out because that's the color of the antifreeze. So after you flush the whole system, then you change the position of the valves on the back of this water heater, so it'll function normally. All right. to learn about winterizing is you can find a zillion good videos like on YouTube, but try to stick with manufacturers. This is a Suburban water heater, so you would look at the Suburban video, and that's the best way to go if you can. Now, the antifreeze, I'm not going deeply into how you winterize it, but I'll tell you, I don't know if you can see, I guess you can't, but the fresh water drain is under here, right? And there's a barb on there where you'll hook a hose to, and then you'll put the other end into a gallon of antifreeze. Then you'll use the onboard pump to pump the antifreeze through the system, okay? Just give you a general idea in case you don't know, okay? This is the furnace vent here. This is just coax through, campground cable or whatever you want to use it for. That's just storage. That goes underneath the bunk. I'm sorry, the dinette bench. Okay. All right, so let me just move around here. One last thing back here. The travel door comes off, and it's hanging underneath here, if you can see that. Right, so you stow it up, when you set up, you stow your travel door under the rear bunk. Or rear bed, I guess is correct. Okay, so let's go inside. Now, when you set up your when you set up your roof when you're using the power winch, you'll see their video on how to do it. But you basically, there's a cable on the side that you'll watch it until it gets taut. When it's taut, that allows you to put the door right in here. So the thing is, that cable is all about having it at the right height so your door fits correctly, okay? And you just Velcro yourself in. All right, so here we go. This is the shower / cassette toilet. You get a hand shower, of course. Trap button, flush button. All the waste goes into that gray tank that I showed you that you have to dump yourself. So that's the cassette toilet. Like I said, it's best to refer to their stuff so you can teach yourself how to do it, if you don't already know, that is. All right, so underneath the sink and range here, you have the refrigerator. I showed you how to light it or start it on the outside. You have this plug, which is a GFCI plug. All the plugs in the trailer, including the one on the outside, are wired through this. So if they ever pop, if you're using something outside that pops it, you reset it here. Okay. This is your carbon monoxide LP gas detector. It also will tell you if you've got a low battery. So here, I'll set the self-test off for you. If I can find the button. There we go. There's one test for LP, carbon monoxide, and low battery. So if it beeps slowly like that, it's telling you your battery's low. Alright. Okay, so let me get up here again. This switch right here is your water pump switch. Let me get in a better position here so I can show you. That's your water pump switch right there. Hopefully you can see that. Kind of dark. It's right there. This device below it is the power converter. So what this does is converts 110 AC to 12 volt DC. So it's an AC to DC converter. So on this side you have regular fuses like you'd see circuit breakers like you'd see at home, and they're labeled. Then the power is converted to 12 volt DC on this side. You can see you got regular house or regular automotive type 12 volt fuses. You can see it there. If any of those fuses will blow, they'll actually light up and you'll see them through the perforation in the cover. Alright, and also, importantly, if you're plugged in, this is also a battery tender. So it'll keep your battery charged if you're plugged in. Alright, and that's how you light your water heater. That's the gas. Never, ever run the water heater without water in the tank. It's very important, okay? Alright, so, some stuff here. These are mattress warmers. They're just an analog control. You plug one side into the mattress, the other side goes into 110. There's one for each, the front one for the back. These are the keys, obviously. This is a water filter if you choose to use it. And this is the canister wrench right here for the water filter canister. You won't be able to see it because it's too dark back there, but I I pulled these screws out so you can see it. You see there's a hinge on each side of this door. There's 2 hinges here and 1 here. So you take the screws out of this one hinge, and you look in there, and I know you can't see, but back there is your water filter canister. So you would unscrew it with that wrench, put the filter in it. The filter only lasts 1 year, so you would change it in the, you throw it out in the fall when you winterize, and after you de-winterized in the spring, you put a new one in. Also, that your water pump is down there, so you know that where it's at. It's down there, okay? One good way to find the water pump is to turn it on and listen, like you could just hear it for a second, okay? So that's under there, and that's screwed shut. The other thing that's screwed shut, you can see I took a screw out. It's a number 2 square-headed screw. All the screws in this trailer are number 2 squares. So you need a bit for that. But if I just pull this up, we'll just peek under there. This is the back of the water heater, right? I told you the valves. See, these are the valves. Right now the lines are, whichever line the handle is parallel with is the one that's being used. So right now you can see the water comes in, goes through this bypass line, loops around, right? And so it doesn't go into the water heater. It's in bypass mode. After you pump all the, or flush all the antifreeze out, you'll change the position. And it'll be perpendicular with this bypass line, but it'll be in line with the one going in and going out of the water heater. That's camping mode. So that'll fill it up normally and heat the water up, and it'll come back out. But right now we're in bypass. Okay. Okay, so let's see. The table just folds down. It's very simple, obviously. This is your furnace here. There's a thermostat on the side of your sink and cooktop. When you push it all the way to the left till it clicks, it's off. On, off. When you click it off, it'll cycle through a complete cycle before it shuts down, so it keeps on running, but it will shut down. Alright, that's the other end of the coaxial cable that I showed you on the outside. This is a hanging pantry, right? So it hangs from these hooks right here. Okay. You also have the shower rods here, so you can hang these curtains over the shower thing you have. That's just a spatula, of course. These are miscellaneous things. Those are the tent stakes I told you about to hold the awning legs if you need to. That's the piece I told you screwed on the shower drain. These are clips for the curtains. You get a light, 2 lights, and one light, I'm sorry, and a fan light combo. So this is a fan with a light built in. Okay, that's your crank with a 3/4 inch socket on the end, and that black bag is for your power cord, right? In this packet, every appliance and every component in here has its own manual or paperwork. That's where you get information from, right there. Let's see what else I've... On and off switches for the awning light and the interior light is right there. Fire extinguisher. This obviously pulls out and turns into a bed. This right here is a reducer I told you about. You put this on the end of your 30 amp cable and you can plug it in at home. Keep in mind the air conditioner draws like 28 amps when the compressor kicks on. So you might pop a fuse if you're running the air conditioner in your driveway if you don't have it wired to a 30 amp system. Also, you got a power vent here, which is really great because it pulls the it does a great job pulling that hot air out. You lock it and open it here, right? That's the lid. Cranks up and down here, as you can see. And you have the speed here. 3 different speeds. Now that's just a glass tube fuse. That's all that is. So if it ever doesn't work, you might have blown the fuse. But keep in mind that this is 3 speeds, and you have to lock it into position so it doesn't tend to lift when you're pulling it down the road, and in the rain it would let water seep in, that sort of thing. So make sure you lock it. Okay. Alright, I think I've covered everything here. Let me look around, see what I still have. I think I've got everything. Okay, yeah. So that's basically it. So I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Like I said, we'll show you how this works when you come to pick it up. Plus you've got the manufacturer video. Plus you have this video. So you've got a lot of information anyway. So Okay, one last thing. I want to tell you that you need to check the seals on the roof of this trailer. The 4 corner plastic corner pieces need to be checked, and the vent up here needs to be checked. So you're going to inspect that a few times a summer just to make sure all the seals are good and tight. You don't want water to ever get into it. So any place on the roof or on the sides of the trailer you see caulk from the manufacturer, those are the areas you'll inspect. Never use regular caulk, from a hardware store. Regular silicone is not good enough. You have to use something called Clear Proflex on this one. So check all the seals on the sides and on the corner caps on the roof and around the vent, and make sure everything is nice and tight. Okay, that's very important, and that's not for this trailer, it's for everyone ever made. So you got to keep after that as a trailer owner. If you keep up the seals on this thing, you'll never have water inside. If you walk into somebody's trailer and it smells musty and it has a soft floor, you know that they never did maintenance on it. All trailers have to be maintained. Okay. Thank you very much.